you very much, Michelle. Okay, hello everyone, and thank you very much for coming to this uh, kind of casual and formal and informal, book club discussion. And I'm the facilitator, and then I just, give you a little information. Actually, I'm the incoming chair for the TESOL Professional Development Professional Council. And also I'm a professor of English and TESOL at Murray State University here in the United States. So welcome everybody. Really wonderful to meet you all here. Shall we start? I have some, questions, and of course, I'm sure you have read the book, and that's the book we're going to discuss. It's AI enhanced, this book, right? So, maybe it's a little hard to read when the background there. It's a AI enhanced English language teaching, innovative strategies to transform your classroom. The TESOL just published in March, I think, this year. So we're going to really focus on discussing chapter 2 and chapter 3, some, skills that we can use to really innovate our classroom. So before we get to the discussion questions, can you, if you use one or two sentences, introduce yourself to this meeting and we get to know each other? Do you want to do that?
Sure, I'll jump in.
Thank you. That's great.
So I'm Shimin Gasevich. I'm faculty at the University of Southern Mississippi in the Master of Arts in the Teaching of Languages program. And I have to admit that I haven't read the chapters yet. I'm
That's
waiting to get
fine.
my
That's
copy of
fine.
the book.
Thanks for
I've
coming.
ordered it and I'm waiting to get it, and I'm really excited about it, but I thought I'd jump in and join, at least I can sit and listen to your discussion of it with anticipation of receiving my copy, hopefully very soon.
We all kind of learning and doing, like exploring. I mean, this is a new topic. We know that. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, nice to meet you. Yeah. Okay. Please.
Hello, I think can I be the next one?
Sure, go ahead.
My name is Yasemin and I'm from Turkey, and actually I'm a master's student
Mm-hmm.
in Turkey in the English language teaching department, and I'm basically looking forward to improve my professional development. That's why I'm here
Right.
attending those webinars. Also, I have to admit that I haven't read the book. But I think I thought this would be fun to engage in the discussion process here. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually trying to be more relaxed about the Zoom meetings because I have proceedings coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I really value attending these meetings and share my ideas here. And it's really nice to see everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Yasmin. And yeah,
Yeah,
I
Yasemin.
think, we have, I taught in Beijing for a long time too, before I came to the United States. So we shared experience, right? Okay, who is next?
I can go next.
Okay,
Oh
great.
yeah, yes. Hi everyone. Glad that I'm attending this session. So I'm Erpin. I'm originally from Indonesia, but then currently I'm doing my PhD in University of Rochester,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, I mean, I also would like to admit, I haven't have any chance to read the book, but then I mean, look at the topic. I feels like it's kind of like give my new perspective about enhanced ELT, since coming as a EFL learners or international students, and then gonna be kind of uh teachers or educators. So like to kind of see how's the discussions and the topic that we're gonna share in this session. So yes, thank you for the event.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your expectations and things you wanted to explore. We are all exploring here. Yeah, we wanted to learn, right, how to use AI to teach in the classroom. Yeah, thank you. Okay, who is next? Anybody want to do next?
Hi, it's me, Zainab.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yes.
I'm from North Cyprus. I'm working here as an English instructor. Along with that, I'm also doing my master's in English language teaching. Basically, I'm from Pakistan, but right now I'm in Cyprus.
Mhm.
So I have started working, like preparing my paper on how to inculcate AI in English language teaching. So this is very interesting for me. So how to use AI effectively in the classrooms rather than just transforming the classrooms from teachers to AI completely. We have to infuse AI to make learning more intelligible for the students. So it's very interesting for me. So I hope that this conversation will give me some notes to take and implement in my classroom. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for introducing us and welcome to this session. And
Thank
by
you.
the way, we had a program with Cyprus many years ago. Yeah, that was just an experience.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Right.
we had a student from Cyprus too. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, anybody else would like to introduce?
Oh, I think there's also someone in the chat who introduced themselves.
Okay. All right. Oscar introduced, join and notice sharing. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's fine. All right. And this is Oscar already introduced your responses and some of the thoughts here. Okay. Wonderful. Last call. Anybody else? Okay. If we feel free to, you're right. I mean, if you wanted to introduce yourself, I think it's nice to connect through this, forum here too. So it looks like some of you read the book, many of you have not read the book. And so this book actually has a lot of ideas. I mean, about, for example, if you attended the first meeting, it talks about prompts and how you really, create prompts and put them into AI. That is actually the very first thing when we're trying to use AI, right? How to, create effective and ethical and also appropriate prompts and put in the AI, whichever model you use, and then you can, design activities, design curriculum, and doing those kinds of things. And so moving to today actually is really the chapter is the two chapters. The first chapter, chapter 2, is talking about setting the stage for. Let me try to get the title for you, since some of you don't have the book. So it's this chapter 3. It's called Enhancing Teaching Skills with AI, Setting the Stage for Instruction. It talks quite a bit really about how you design curriculum, lesson plans, and also manage your use AI as assistant. Not really trying to replace classroom designing or replace what you're doing, but really trying to see how this powerful assistant can help you design lesson plans and trying to differentiate instruction and how to do assessment, and a lot of ideas and a lot of resources in this book. And I personally really think it's a great book, and it is really has a lot of classroom-based and teacher-based ideas and resources and tools, and especially on different kinds of tools, digital tools. And it takes us to think about all kinds of pathways. So let me move ahead. And there are actually, the author has prepared 3 discussion questions. We can go over this and see how you respond, whether you have any thoughts or maybe you have any experiences in your classroom right now. So the very first question here, it says, chapter 3 and 4 explore AI as kind of teaching assistant. So I think it's really based on the research and all of them. We're really not using AI to substitute, right? And really, trying to use as assistant, and even sometimes to say as a co-designer and a co-teacher, or you do a special designer about the curriculum and the activities used in the classroom here. Says, okay, use this as a teaching assistant, handling things like lesson planning and grading, assessment, right? And differentiate how you really trying to create content, create activities for different proficiency levels in your class. Because we especially in the United States, I know in public schools, the teachers always deal with multiple levels of for teaching in the classrooms. So this is what they have discussed really in those 2 chapters and how. So in other words, the AI can focus on doing those things. In other words, it consider as if we divide that into, lower order thinking skills and higher order thinking skills. So that's why the chapters say setting the stage. So you are going to work with your students and say, all right, we're going to do a lot of other things. So that means free our hands and then use that as assistant to do some of the work. And then our teachers can focus on higher order thinking skills, higher order interactions and communications and working with the students. So what do you think? Do you have any thoughts relating to this? And which of these, you feel is most useful, realistic, relevant, and then based on the context and then kinds of students you are teaching? Do you have any thoughts, feelings, or discussions that you would love to share?
Can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think the most useful one here is the lesson planning. We can definitely get very interesting ideas about planning our lessons, but I think the most important thing of getting lesson plans from the artificial intelligence is that specifying our learners' needs and
Mhm.
giving the context, the details of our context. I think it is very important. About the grading, I think we should do the grading of ourselves because it's a very important progress. Um, yeah, that's it.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's good. So you think teachers should do the grading. So you don't feel comfortable to let AI to grade your student work, or you don't feel comfortable that AI can do some part of assessment?
Yes. I think maybe if we have many students in a class and we are doing, maybe we gave them a writing assessment, a writing task, and it takes a lot of time to assess them very correctly sometimes. So we can maybe get a feedback for their texts and we can evaluate them based on the evaluation of the AI. I don't know. But the final decision should be the teachers, I think.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying the teachers should design this, right? And the teachers
Yes.
should really monitor this.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely. And also keep track of this.
Yes.
Okay. Oscar, feel free to turn on your mic to speak because we don't have a lot of people here. Are you fine?
So I have a thought on this. You were talking about the AI serving as an assistant for the teacher or a co-designer of sorts. And one of the interesting things for me as a teacher educator
Mm-hmm.
is the importance of us as the teacher. We're in a way the supervisor of the AI. And so we can ask it to do things. We can delegate tasks to AI, but we still have to have the knowledge base to be able to assess what AI is doing and be able to manage what it's doing. And and like Yasmin was saying, to make those final decisions based on our knowledge and our experience in the field. So always with us kind of being in that supervisory role over the AI.
Yeah, that's totally, yeah, that's wonderful. It's really important because we cannot AI do everything and say, and especially get to the point of assessment, right? Um, Supervising, of course, we are using our expertise and using our um, higher order thinking skills and also to find the gaps between AI and the students, right? Between the AI, the students' needs. Just now you said me say the students' needs, and also what about the context there, right? What the specific context my students need from this, interaction with AI and AI can do for us. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to take the stage to talk, but I feel free to, to share your thoughts. Does anybody else, or maybe, you can continue to talk. Anybody else have other thoughts?
Well, I'm going to add something there, and I don't want to dominate anything, but I think another thing we really have to keep in mind is that AI, it does hallucinate. It does sometimes give incorrect information. And so if you relinquish too much of your control to the AI, it might mislead your students or give them some incorrect information. So going back to that idea of supervising, but also monitoring what's going on with the AI and making sure that you're there to catch problems as they arise.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we should train our students how to detect those, or maybe how to develop that kind of competency? It's got to probably we can use like AI literacy, trying to, to help the students develop that kind of competency in order to do the right type of work and the quality work.
I mean, I think when we're working with teachers as teacher
Mm-hmm.
trainers, when we're trying to do professional development or work with our pre-service teachers, I do think it's really important that we give them experience and let them see the limitations, both the potential and the limitations that AI has. Um, when it comes to our learners, I think very often they're going to need our guidance, our professional guidance, because they are still in the process of learning the language, so they might not be equipped to recognize when AI is doing something that might not be correct. If it makes a suggestion, an edit change, something, they may not be able to recognize when it's giving them information that's not correct. And so I think when we're preparing teachers to use AI, we need to make them aware of that danger and help them to see where some of the weaknesses are also in the model.
Thank you very much. Anybody else has any thoughts and even you can respond to what Shimeni talked about? I like what you said really about limitations and also, professional development guidelines, because I'm a teacher trainer too. So we know what students need from us and what things we need to help them, right, to become better competent teachers, especially at this, age of AI. So yeah, that's wonderful. Okay. Anybody else has any other thoughts, but regarding this question? Okay, let's move on to the next question. Maybe this question you can more relate it, and then how that can help us. This one is really about differentiation. No matter you teach in the United States or you teach in Turkey or Cyprus or other countries, I mean, we always have to do something, to differentiate our instruction, because in each class, right? And this AI can do a lot of things. And the book actually has examples, actually, how you create prompts. And then, for example, you use a text and then ask the AI based on the text, and then to create exercises or to create activities for different proficiency levels, beginners, intermediates, advanced. So that means, it's really something you can do there. So regarding this, have you ever, does anybody have any experience, in trying to use AI to generate different versions of the same assignment or maybe same content to differentiate instruction, differentiate content that, and what was your experience, and how do what kind of thoughts do you have?
Yeah, I think I would like to share about this because this align with my experience. Actually, like just last week I have like a kind of like a summer teaching jobs
Mhm.
in New York, and then it's like mostly my students they are like Italians from high schools, and then they
Mhm.
come to the city to kind of like learn about English. But then it's like the program they have already some of materials or questions to kind of like the measure the students. But then it's like during the way like the process somehow as an educator or as a teachers like we would like to also know like how about the students proficiency level. I mean in the fact like during the process like we saw like some students they actually for example in the is they are not level of advanced, like let's say like they're like intermediate or beginner. So I just like kind of like ask AI to kind of like adjust the questions or kind of like text that the the course actually provide to just kind of like adjust with the students levels. Let's say like, oh, make can you make it this on the intermediate or beginner level for EFL learners like 15 to 17 years old, something like that. So I mean like as long as we make uh the context, like we know the context of give the prompt to the AI, and then it's like when we read and then it's makes sense or it's like based on our it's also aligned with the materials and the basic knowledge that we have. So at the same point I feels like it's also like kind of like really helpful. And then it's like especially like teaching to teenagers like somehow like they also really want to engage with technology. So I mean like I try to make a ask AI to kind of like make this task to kind of like to Kahoot question something like that. So
Mhm.
and there's like also what I like now even Kahoot they have like AI generated, so it's also help us to kind of like provide like kind of like interactions for the students. Yeah, I think that's what I would like to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing, Irping. I think that's wonderful. Because you did, adjusting questions, adjusting text, right? And they even integrated with Kahoot, right? Yeah, Kahoot and Quizlet are all,
Yeah.
mentioned in the book. And then, so those are very powerful tools we teachers we use, trying to create assignments and interactive activities for students, right, in our classroom. Yeah. Anybody else has other thoughts or maybe other experiences want to share?
I think I can share one of my experiences about this.
Mhm.
Um, sometimes I feel like I get an instruction from the AI, and I thought that maybe my students will not be able to understand this instruction. Basically, it is very important for the beginner levels, because if the instruction is higher their level, they may not understand it. Probably they're not gonna understand it, and I want AI to specify. I mean, make it more simple than the previous one. This is how I differentiate the instruction, basically, because it's very important for students to understand what I want.
So did the AI really eventually meet your goals in order
Yeah,
to do it for your beginners?
it's basically gets the job, does the job.
How did you evaluate that? You see, and do you have particular standards to evaluate, or in other words, what kind of criteria have you used to assess whether what AI produced really can meet your students' needs and also the proficiency levels in your context?
Well, basically, after a time, I just understand. I just get uh, understand the actual level of my students in a
Right,
classroom.
right.
Basically, it goes like feelings. I feel that they can understand that, but I can also see the grammatical structures in the instruction, and I think that whether my students know that structure or not, maybe this could be a criteria, but basically I go like feelings.
Mhm. Based on your
Yeah,
experience, right?
based on my feelings about the level of my students.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, structure, of course, it has some objective uh, implication there, so you can distinguish proficiency levels, right? Yeah. Thank you, Yusami.
No problem.
Yeah. Anybody else has other experiences or maybe other thoughts regarding this? You might also have concerns. Feel free to discuss. Yeah.
So one way I've used it in classes where you're trying to go from maybe a Cepher B2 to C1, it's really hard sometimes to get students from that intermediate level up to the advanced level. And
Mhm.
especially for example, in a composition class, you can have students um, run their writing through AI and have AI identify their um, the top three mistakes or problems with their writing. And then it can even develop activities specific to that student's weaknesses. And that's been something very motivating for the students because each student is working on the elements that they need to improve. So it's
Mhm.
very individualized instruction. Now, on the flip side, sometimes AI gives them incorrect guidance, or it may say something is incorrect and it isn't, in fact, incorrect. And so we have to be vigilant and supervise what's going on to make sure they're not getting incorrect information from AI.
Right, right, right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the book also talks about personalized, pathways, individuals. And that's, we can design curriculum based on learning styles, preferences, and those kinds of things, and definitely can create uh, individualized, personalized learning goals and the learning activities for students, right? But the question, I totally agree with you. Are they able to identify what is really right and what it's really it needs to be improved and in what ways, especially when they get to the composition and writing there. Yeah, I'm teaching a composition right now, this semester. So that is a great idea, and they can do that. I think three top things, and I'm going to steal from you. Uh, I will see how a student's going to apply that. Okay. Does anybody else have other thoughts or questions? Okay, thank you for these. We have one last question. I think this one probably we have even, you have not read the book or you have experience with AI, maybe you have a lot more, even more to say here. So this is really, we know there's a tension here, right? Between AI efficiency and the human relationships at the heart of good teaching. The probably everybody, not just us, I mean, is struggling with this. And no matter you are using this for whatever professional purposes right now, right? So how do you draw a line, I think? What parts of your teaching, especially teaching, how do you not want AI to do or to be involved, and what parts you feel comfortable to let AI do it for you and your students? And because we have to, I'm struggling honestly trying to constructed the statement for AI policy now because we had a lot of discussions. I mean, and working on this. So feel free to share your thoughts and practices and ideas. Anybody has any thoughts regarding this? Yeah. Go
I
ahead,
think I
Lisa.
said
Yeah.
that in the first question. It was about the grading. The final decision is always my decision. So that's why I draw the line between me and AI.
Yes. So absolutely. You think the grading and the final grade, that it's the human being, that's the teacher has the final say there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else has other thoughts?
Well, one thing that I'm encountering is that some teachers have very strong opinions about AI. And so within a faculty, you may have some people who are very enthusiastic and they're embracing it and they're incorporating it. You have others who are completely against it and don't want to use it in any way, shape, or form in their classes. And then there's the people in between who are trying to navigate this and find their way through the woods. And at the same time, you have students who have very different feelings about AI. And so
Absolutely.
one of the things that I try to be conscious of as a teacher is that I want my students to feel comfortable in my class. And so if I have an assignment where I am incorporating AI, I always try to think of what am I going to do for a student who comes to me and has very strong feelings against using AI. How am I going to handle that, and what kinds of accommodations would I have for that student so that they're not forced to use it or engage with it if they don't want to? But at the same time, showing the ones who are very enthusiastically embracing it, maybe what some of the potential ethical problems or issues with it,
Mhm.
what they might be. And so kind of trying to navigate that in between area.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's we are all navigating right now. And also I like what you're looking at, not just the students really, very enthusiastic and really like them, and also take care of the students who are against it. And we do. Faculty we have, don't we have faculty do not really allow AI at all. And you do also see faculty, they have, they're very enthusiastic and so this is, yeah, that's really, even the policy is very very hard to draft, right? So when you put what you put there, you have to include every group of students and people when they read it. Anybody else has other thoughts? Anybody else? How do you navigate? And I mean, does probably your school or your district or maybe other organizations, and if you're going to use ideas from this book, for example, in your classroom, what kind of thoughts and maybe responses you might encounter, and to navigate this relationship.
Hello, can you hear me? This is
Oh,
Oscar.
yes, Oscar,
Yes. Okay.
yes. Good.
Yeah, the AC unit here was a little bit high, but now it's a little off, and also my dogs were barking. So anyway, I just want to mention quickly for context. I joined because I saw the title, and I'm not new at in the teaching world, but I'm not. That's not my main, let's say, profession, right? I started teaching again about a year and a half ago.
Uh-huh.
My career is in computer science, right? That's where so without going into much.
That's good. That's good. We needed computer scientists.
Yes, well, that's why kind of I joined this this group because of that, and that's why I
Mhm.
wanted to participate as much as I could. But what I wanted to say is this. I mean, I am not really teaching a classroom right now. I mean, it's again a story that it doesn't it doesn't belong in this conversation right now. But the experience that I have had with AI has been very good, very positive. However, with a big caveat, I would say, you gotta be very careful how you treat its output, right? So, I mean, it's more like a cautionary word upon my experience with mainly planning. That's what I've been using it for, and I use it with the students. But I just have one-on-one sessions. It's not a classroom setting, not a formalized institution, right? So that's why I think it's not aligned with what you are discussing. But my
Mhm.
experience is that one, right? And what I'm looking for is a way that or find a way, a method that the prompts that I create, because my prompts are rather complex and they follow
Mhm.
different, different workflow, different stages. And what I like to find is something that can be seamless into that. Because if they can be seamless, then when you go to the student and you show them and you present something, it's going to give them the same information. So
Mhm.
in summary, I would say the my main concern is the hallucination part and extreme, intuitive approach that AI creates when you go into detail in more depth with the tools. So that's my experience. So I wanted to share that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful. You're a computer scientist. That tell us is something more
Technical.
technical and very
uh,
expertise
I'm not sorry.
based.
I'm not an AI expert. I have studied, LLMs in some capacity, but I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. But I've used it, right? So yes, I have some.
But you understand more about technology. I mean,
Uh,
because that's your major, right?
well, yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's what I've been working on for some time. Yes, thank you. Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's fair to really, when we use it, we have to think about how machine works, right? How machine trying to give output, and then the output, whether it is intuitive or is it a really deep um, thinking, or very based on logic, or how they do the analysis. So in other words, the more we push, and then we might get more responses regarding them, and see things there. But how can we help our students and the teachers to tell the inaccuracies and inconsistencies, and their um, and also how to take care of a lot of other things human beings do, but AI cannot do. That might be something that when we're trying to work with AI, we wanted to watch and really, how to do the connection there. That's just what I have been thinking and really okay. Does anybody else have other thoughts? And it doesn't matter whichever field you come from. And we are TESOL actually really. I personally, honestly, I work with scientists and work with because I used to teach in Beijing in an engine. It's like an MIT in China, and that's the really not engineering focused school. I have students from all kinds of backgrounds. Because TESOL, we have to serve students, from different majors, right? So, how to integrate that kind of knowledge into the language and to use language to serve, life and professional purposes there. So, yeah. So, does anybody else have other thoughts or maybe other responses? We have a few more minutes. Have you found anything that AI cannot do based on your experience right now? And really, of course, we don't feel comfortable when that's one thing. And are there any particular things you think AI cannot really do? And I must make sure my students learn from me in the classroom.
Oh, me again, Oscar here.
Mhm.
So, in my experience and what I've seen, AI cannot judge. Okay, cannot exercise that the judgment, the good judgment that we have as people, as professionals, right? So that's one thing that I've noticed, and again, by exploring and going a little bit in depth with the
Mhm.
prompt technology, it's very good at following instructions and making a predictions based on the information that it has. But in judgment, it's a very slippery slope, I can put.
Mhm.
Okay. That's my experience, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a very good point. Anybody else has other thoughts? In the summer, I taught a class to doctoral students. It's a second language writing. And all of the students I had, about 10, over 10 students in for the whole class. And then we really did quite a bit of the readings about AI and just about second language writing. And the students really shared what they talked about is what they are classroom teachers. They're real classroom teachers in the United States. And they were really, after we have done the research and also that, I think one thing is very obvious is that what AI created and the AI produced has to be connected to the local context. Has to be really, how you're going to establish the connection between what AI did and this, and what kind of students. And also teachers know, for example, our students have a history of learning and they have backgrounds, right? They have all kinds of things happening in the life, but those kinds of things not in the AI. So that means, AI is as to what Oscar said there, AI can provide content and can, give you questions and give all of those things, but it's hard for you to, how you can judge, how you can, do the do the connection. That is one thing really I just want to share with you. I mean, okay. Anybody else has other thoughts, questions? So maybe some of you came in later would like to share, or we have 1 minute and we're gonna finish this. It's wonderful finish this session. Okay, if you don't have thoughts right now, feel free to share, on the TESOL website, and I'm pretty sure the publisher, they will also be happy to hear from you. And then Michelle is here, and you can connect to, through my TESOL there, the TESOL members. And I really, really appreciate your contribution and your questions, thoughts, sharing with us. And then I think Michelle, next set meeting is when is that? We have another 2 meetings, right?
Yes, we have our next meeting is going to be September 10th. So if you have not had a chance to register for it, please feel free to do that in my TESOL. And again, as Saihua shared, if you have additional thoughts, feel free to post those in the my TESOL community for the Pubs Club. I will post the recording there as well. And yeah, we hope to keep the discussion going.
Wonderful. Yeah. If you have not checked out the book, and I think it's it's worth checking this out and see how professionally we can explore AI and adapt that to the classroom responsibly, critically, and also using all kinds of resources recommended there. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all very much, and really appreciate your thoughts, your reflections, and also your sharing, and wonderful. And hope to see you next time. Next time I'm be the facilitator again, and very nice meeting all of you, and enjoy teaching. All right.
Thank you so much. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, wherever you are.
Yes.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.